Right now in Connecticut's news station, a New York man is locked up on child exploitation charges involving teens at a group home here in Connecticut. I'm Brooke Griffin, and I'll tell you how the feds tracked that suspect across state lines.
Also, this morning, firefighters raced to the scene of a building fire in Hartford. Everything we know about the situation this morning.
And rising water worrying people who live near a pond in Portland, what they're doing to try and keep their homes above water, and why some say it's a losing battle.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us this Wednesday. We're halfway to the weekend already. We're glad to have you, America Arias.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Maybe if we dress like spring, it will start to feel like it out there. Meteorologist Matt Scott standing by with the first check of our forecast at 6.
Is that why it's warmer today? Springy? Okay.
We'll take it.
All because of your
We're doing our part.
outfit choices. There you go. Listen, today's the warmest of the week. We also have some spring showers to deal with, and that's going to lead to something that we see often in springtime, that kind of fight between warm and cold. Some cold coming in the form of a frost or a freeze later on tonight. A few scattered showers today, not a big deal at all. Temperatures remain mild until this front passes, leading into another shot of cold air. Right now, the radar is largely quiet. A couple of showers on the deck, getting ready to move through western Connecticut, let's say over the next hour or so. And there will be some more scattered showers. As the front approaches, there may be one or two isolated heavier downpours. We're not looking for anything strong or severe, but you might be, don't be surprised by that later on this afternoon. 47 in Hartford, that's not bad. 50 in New Haven and Bridgeport, another 47 in Groton. Let me show you quickly the guidance, and you'll see not a lot to worry about, but there's those heavy spots. It could be a thunderstorm embedded in there. We're not going to rule that out. And then we got to talk about some cold air, a freeze watch in effect for a good chunk of the state overnight tonight. Here's the bus stop forecast for the high schoolers. 47 degrees now, a couple of light showers out there, isolated rain, maybe even a thunderstorm. 64 degrees later on, so warm for now. We'll talk about the 7-day forecast coming up just a few minutes. 6:02. Let's go to the roads. Good morning, Rachel Piscatelli.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Largely our road work has wrapped up for the morning commute, although we are following two areas still out there now that may cause some delay as we clean this up. Route 9 south between exits 29 and 27 dealing with road work this morning, and we'll bring you to the Glastonbury East Hartford area where Route 2 east and west has road work between 3 and 5. So the delays are centered around eastbound Route 2 right now, where travel speeds are around 12 miles per hour. Westbound Route 2 looks okay this morning. As of now, heading to the Founders Bridge at a 6-minute drive. New Britain out to the Hartford Tunnel, a 5-minute drive. Keith and Erica, back to you.
Rachel, thanks so much. A New York City man is in jail this morning after U.S. attorneys say that he engaged in sexual abuse with teenagers who were staying at a group home here in Connecticut.
The feds telling us he was arranged for the teens to meet him at various locations. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin joining us with a timeline here of the alleged crimes. Brooke, it seems details, at least at this point, we don't know too much.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So when the Justice Department and the FBI are the ones leading the case, and when the federal law enforcement gets involved in anything, we don't typically have access to information like we do with the local police situations. It's also a matter of a case being much more sensitive, meaning details are limited to protect those victims. But what we can tell you is that the suspect, 28-year-old Nicholas Brown, was arrested last month, and a grand jury handed up the indictment against him yesterday. The U.S. Attorney for Connecticut says Brown arranged multiple Uber trips for 1 to 3 teenage girls from a state-run group home last month. Now, 2 of those girls were under the age of 18. Brown allegedly brought them to hotels and malls across the state and engaged in explicit sexual acts with one of the victims. On another occasion, he Ubered 2 teenage girls to the Bridgeport train station and brought them down to Manhattan, then took them to a hotel in South Hackensack, New Jersey, where they stayed for several days. Now, Brown was arrested last month. The feds say police found him in a Danbury hotel. They tell us that he had a phone with him that revealed videos depicting sex abuse, including videos taken while engaging in sexual conduct with a minor victim. Now, authorities charged him with production of child pornography and possession of child pornography with the intent to view. Now, if he's convicted of both charges, he faces a mandatory minimum sentence of about 15 years in prison. Now, we are working to find out which group home the teens were at when Brown allegedly contacted them. We asked the Department of Children and Family Services, and a spokesperson told us they can't provide that information because this is currently an active case. We do, however, know that West Hartford police assisted in this case. We just don't know their specific role. We hope to get a copy of that federal indictment to get more details about those crimes. Keith and Erica, back to you.
Thank you for going through that for us. Just a heads up, this next story with some explicit details as well, learning that a Litchfield store clerk is accused of sexually assaulting teenage girls. State police arresting 47-year-old Monir Uden of Brooklyn, New York over the weekend. They say back in January, while working at a Citgo gas station in Litchfield, he had inappropriate contact with 3 14-year-old girls, which included kissing one of them on the cheek. Uden facing multiple sexual assault charges. He was arraigned in court on Monday in Torrington.
The Office of the Inspector General says a shooting involving a state trooper in Brooklyn, Connecticut last year was justified. It happened in May when state police were evicting 59-year-old Byron Harvey from his apartment on Tiffany Street. Body cam video shows Harvey holding a large military-style knife before he moved toward Trooper Romello Lumpkin and Sergeant Brian Lavelle. Seconds later, Lumpkin shot Harvey. A former researcher at MIT will spend 35 years in prison for killing a Yale graduate student in 2021. Chin-Chuan Pan pleaded guilty to murdering Kevin Jiang. Police said that Pan shot Jiang multiple times, and they eventually found Pan in Alabama 3 months later. It's still not clear what led up to the killing. We are working to get an update for you this morning on a shooting that critically injured a man in Hartford. Officers responded to the intersection of Park and Putnam Street around 5 last night. They found a man who was shot multiple times. He was taken to the hospital. Last check, police did not have anyone in custody.
6:07 and new this morning. State police asking for your help locating a woman suspected of bank fraud and identity theft. Troopers saying the woman shown here used the victim's information to steal $6,000 from Northeast Family Federal Credit Union in Wyndham. This happening last Wednesday. She then allegedly went to the credit union in Manchester and tried to do the same thing. The bank teller there, noticing the woman wasn't who she said she was, and ended up calling police. Troopers say the woman used a fake Massachusetts driver's license and the victim's social security number. If you know who she is, call state police. There's another look there. Also new this morning, Bristol police seeking a pair of shoplifters who allegedly stole merchandise from a store. This happening last week at the Home Depot on Farmington Avenue. Police telling us the thieves got away with $2,000 worth of stuff. If you know who any of the people are here, you're urged to call Bristol police.
A man allegedly responsible for a serious crash on New Year's Eve is in custody. Rocky Hill police say David Ferrari was driving under the influence when he hit a car on West Street near Gilbert Avenue. Now, officers say he was wearing a GPS bracelet for a prior criminal case at the time. They believe he cut it off after the crash and fled the state. Police had a nationwide warrant out for his arrest. And breaking overnight in Hartford, firefighters respond to a fire on North Beacon Street. You can see a lot of smoke coming from his home. This home here, the call came in just before 2 a.m. We are working to find out if anyone was hurt, as well as what sparked the fire.
And firefighters in West Hartford say they believe the fires at the Wampanoag Country Club over the weekend were not intentionally set. They also believe the second fire on Sunday was a continuation, which is what many of us suspected of that first fire on Saturday. Crews believe that happened because the fire was never fully put out. Despite those initial findings, investigators warn it could still take months to fully understand what happened here. What a loss for that community. Many people in Portland saying they're just keeping their homes above water. That's right. We said homes here. That's because the water level at Jobs Pond keeps rising. Homeowners we spoke with say they're working hard to protect their properties and are pleading for help here. One man says he got 70 inches of water in his basement. Just devastating for his family's longtime home.
We're moving out. Moved all the appliances out of the house. We're packing it up and moving it out. We're figuring it's going to hit the floorboards another week.
Wow. So Senator Blumenthal expected to visit Portland today to survey the damage and talk with homeowners about potential federal support. The town says it has already applied for grant money from the USDA.